What is up, YouTube? You have probably noticed my old Athena video by now, which is finally out in global. Now it's time to move on to the next big series, the Goddess series. I'll be going over the strongest series in this game for a very long today, so grab some popcorn and enjoy the show. Goddess is the 3rd generation stacker in the game. Until this very day, it is the only tier 3 stacker available and currently holds the title as the best weapons in DPS builds. What makes Goddess so great is, as it is a stacker, it also does damage as well, and it does a lot of damage, some of which can replace old tier 3 weapons in DPS. It also doesn't drain max EP, so as long as you play the long con, you can have plenty of EP to spare, as long as you can maintain the max HP that is lost from spamming the tier 3 weapons. The reason why they are called Goddess is because each Goddess has their own weapon. Water is for Siren, Fire is for Ifrit, Light is for Zektais, and etc. for each of the 6 elements. Each Goddess has their own potential to reach 4 stacks maximum, 1 from the auto attack, passive, and 1 from the special attack, 3 from the special attacks. Later on, they will be able to receive EX and HX evolutions, some of which where you can get EX, you can get up to 5 stacks plus 1 for their special attacks. Differentiating between each goddesses. For the most part, goddesses share the same auto attacks, however, they still have different skills when it comes to using their special attacks. So I'll be splitting up each weapon and talking about what each does and how to bring out their fullest potential in each build. Goddess Wings. Auto attack plus 1 and elemental increase of whatever goddess you're using. Special attack consists of 400% damage limit AoE burst, 3 stacks, as well as max HP drain. What final evolution is best? Legendary, because of the plus 1 stack, as well as the cooldown reduction. Also, you're not a DPS, so why go heroic? Now, is this good? Not really. Goddess Wings is probably the only goddess that is not very good for their specific class, mostly because of the magic AoE is hardly ever needed, and a Valkyrie should be supporting and not doing DPS. The no EP reduction is pretty nice, however, Valkyries almost never have EP problems, so that is not needed. Also, you're wasting max HP when it comes to Valkyries, and you guys are already aware that most Valkyries don't spam tier 3 weapons often, only a few. So trying to stay alive in case of emergency, Guardians not keeping their shield up. So if you get hit by an extension wave and you're spamming these Goddess Wings, you're most likely going to be at 1 HP. So my honest advice, just stick to Athena carry. It is probably the best go-to for Valkyries, so stick with that one. But if you are in a second situation, I would use just 1, no more, and if less, probably go for less. Goddess Lance and Shield. Auto attack plus 1 stack and elemental increase of whatever goddess you're using. Special attack is 400% damage limit AoE burst, plus 3 stacks, max HP up for the entire team, and max HP drain. What final evolution is best? Legendary, because of the plus 1 stack and the cooldown reduction, as well as you're not being a DPS. Now, is this good? Yes, absolutely. Guardians love Goddess Lance and Shield, and of course Battle Crusaders, which aren't out yet, but don't worry about it. First of all, the no EP loss makes it an amazing on this class because Guardians have low EP already. This means you can carry Angel 1, which is the core medal for all support Guardians, since it uses 9 uses instead of 5 compared to Marvel Works. In harder fights later on with a lot of EP drain, Marvel Works is still great. However, in long drawn fights, I would prefer Angel 1 with Goddess because of the 11 EP. EP would never be an issue for you, and you get 9 more reses, which is always very nice to have. You'll have a lot of ways to increase max HP, so that's another reason why you love Goddess Lance and Shield. And the only difference between this and Athena and Osiris is that you trade off the team HP buff for your auto self HP and EP regen. However, you'll still get a lot of those just using Gem Sword spams. Gem Sword heals you as well as fills up your EPs and the rest of your teammates, so By all means, that is not an issue at all. Make sure you have your gem swords, spam those when they're up, and everything else will be a-okay. I will recommend just using one of these. Goddess Dual Blades, auto attack +1, and elemental increase of whatever element you're using. Special attack is 200% damage limit, single target, +3 stacks, +7 dual blade stacks, and max HP drain. What final evolution is best? Legendary, because of the +1 stack. Cooldown doctrine, which is very, very important for assassins. Hands down the best choice for all assassins and sword princesses. I've hardly ever seen heroic goddesses on assassins or sword princesses. Now, is this good? Absolutely. Not only is the +3 stacks nice, the no EP loss is also very nice. Most important part, the +7 dual blade stacks. This is insane. Assassins and sword princesses need stacks, so that's why you want to get as much stacks as possible, and goddesses is the best way to reach this. At max legendary, it is 50% cooldown reduction, so you're spamming it every 30 seconds, so your DPS goes insane. This is why scaling up the third skill is important for this, and which makes assassins and sword princesses very hard to make very good, because you need those skill ups in that third skill. So I would recommend using 2 of these. You can use a third one if you like, but I would recommend just 2. 2 puts you in a really good spot for DPS. Goddess Magic Swords, auto attack +1 stack, elemental increase of whatever goddess you're using. Special attack is 600% damage limit, AoE burst, 100 more limit against the stronger elements, so if you're light, you're strong against dark, 100% more damage limit. +3 stacks, skill power increase for 15 seconds for special attacks. This is the game breaker right here. Meaning the more magic swords goddesses you have, the more you're doing with that weapon. And max HP drain. What is the best final evolution? For this one is preference. For me, I like, if you're using 1 magic sword, I would go legendary. If you're using 2, I would go heroic. This is to take advantage of the skill power of each magic sword. Now, is this good? Yes, one of the best magic swords right now, so yes it is. Definitely worth investing into. Stacks constantly DPS with AoE DPS, as well as stacking, so leaves will always be able to do damage AoE. So definitely try to get those. It turns you from a slow single target burster, not single target, a single burster, which has like a 1 minute cooldown, into a multi-burster, which is very, very cool. I would recommend definitely getting at least 2 of these. Goddess Dual Axes, auto attack +1 stack, and elemental increase of whatever element you're using. Special attack is 100% damage limit, 3 stacks, skill power increase for 15 seconds for special attacks, just like magic swords, and max HP drain. What is the best final evolution? Preferences. I personally think heroic is the best to maximize damage output, even though you lose out on that 1 stack. Overall DPS, it is the best way to go. Goddess Dual Axis is what makes Desperados the most OP class in the game, and what makes them what they are right now. You can mix and match to your liking, use at least 2. For maximum damage output, I would use 3. Now, is this good? Yes. The best dual axis for Desperados right now, yes, 100%. If you want to maximize damage output, you will need at least 3 in your lineup. 2 at the very least. Goddess Dual Axis turn Desperados into burst assassins. It lets them ramp up stacks while still putting out ridiculous amounts of damage. This is the stage in the game where Desperados become insanely broken, mainly because of that 1 weapon series, and this is why they're the #1 DP class in the game. #1 DPS class in the game. I can't speak right now, sorry. The meta breakers. Goddesses breaks the meta of the game because it is such a unique weapon. After getting 2 to 3 magic swords, leaves, passives aren't even important anymore, because you'll be spamming so much magic sword, and goddess builds up more damage the more you spam it, so your passive aren't even needed anymore. You just spam magic swords of goddesses, and the passive is not even needed anymore. That's how ridiculous it is. Desperados was once a single high hit burst class. Now they are a multi-burst class, because every time you use a goddess, it gets stronger and it does ridiculous amounts of damage. Goddesses Also, it basically turns them into assassins, but they hit insanely high damage. Now, assassins and sword princesses, nothing special about them. However, goddesses makes them stack insanely fast damage. A lot more useful than Osiris and Athena, which is at 2 and 3 stacks. Goddesses put you at 3 stacks as well as 7 dual blade stacks. So basically, you can think of it as 10 stacks, which is really insane. 11 if using legendary. So, since Goddess is a burst stacker, you free up spots in your weapon lineup. What I mean by this is, you're familiar with the common build of stackers, damage limit boost, and 1 or 2 burst weapons. Well, this is different. When it comes to goddesses, you can make an entire build with just goddess weapons as a DPS, and it will still be viable. Yes, it is still viable. Most DPS classes uses 2, and it's basically like 4 weapons. Think of it as 2 Athenas and 2 burst weapons, and that basically is 4 weapons right there, and that's it, essentially using 2 goddesses. It saves you time, saves you space, and overall it's just much more beneficial to have it as damage output weapons. It saves a lot of space. This is why it's awesome and the most game-breaking weapon series to this very day. So if you've been saving up skill ups, now's the best time to use them. Go all out on the goddess weapons, skill them up as high as you can. I will recommend going as high as possible, 4 at the very minimum. Try to push for that 5. To keep things simple, guys, this is a must-have series for every class except Valkyrie. The amount of versatility it has is absolutely incredible. You can mix and match so many different builds with goddesses as long as you have the minimal amount. It is still a viable build, so even if it gets a little bit crazy, I'm pretty sure if you still have at least the minimal amount of goddesses, it'll still work perfectly fine. I won't put down Osiris and Athena. They aren't replaced as of yet. Support still use them. However, Goddess series is on a whole new level compared to Osiris and Athena. So just don't forget about that either. To this very day, it is still the best weapon series in the game, and in my honest opinion, is probably the best for ways to go, unless they come up with a better burst stacker. When the time comes, I hope all of you guys have enough gems to roll for. Like I stated in my previous global video, guys, I plan on saving up for the Goddess series. I am aware of the power that they bring, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Good luck to all you Logres players saving for that series, and I wish you all the best of luck.